Okay, woo, take three. We have liftoff, Houston. Let's see if we can make it into orbit this time. Oh boy, I just get too excited and then I lose my train of thought and mess up and got to do it all over again. Like that song by Mel and Tim, starting all over again. It's going to be rough, it's going to be tough. But I prayed to the Lord, I think we'll make it or something. Well, anyway, let's get back to the fantasy playlist, August 29, 1987. And number 14, up 6 from number 20. Huey Lewis and the News, doing it all for my baby from the album 4. Watch the video on YouTube. I hadn't seen it in ages. It's a hoot. It's a brilliant video, and I do believe it stands the test of time. All the goofy sound effects, the gags and everything just get you rolling in laughter. And that's one thing about Huey Lewis and the News that I think was kind of endearing of them. They never really took themselves that seriously. I think pompous is one word that you couldn't describe Huey Lewis and the News, and that's a good thing. And their videos, the videos and some of the other videos they did, which was kind of whimsical, reminds me of what the Foo Fighters did later. They came out with several whimsical videos of their own, and sometimes they didn't take themselves too seriously either. And of course, that's another band, another decade, late 90s into the 2000s, or 90s, 2000s. And we're in 1987 right now. We're in the big 80s, baby. Hey, how about that? Huey Lewis and the News, two guys wrote this record, and this is where things get a little confusing for me, so I'm going to do the best I can to piece all this together for you. The song was written by Michael Duke and Philip Cody. First off, a little background. Michael Cody, he played in a band called The Outlaws. He did write a song for Huey Lewis and the News in 1982. It's off their album in 1982. It's called Hope You Love Me Like You Do, or Hope You Love Me Like You Say You Do. It was a long title. It was put out as a single, went to number 36 on Billboard's Hot 100. One thing that's very significant about that record in 1982, Tower of Power. You remember the Tower of Power? What was that song they did back in '73? It was So Very Hard to Go, I do believe it was. And they had another one out, that soulful record. And this is a soulful single too, Doing It All for My Baby. But I'm talking about Hope You Love Me Like You Say You Do. That was the first time that their horn section, Tower of Power horn section, they played on a song by Huey Lewis and the News. Hope You Love Me Like You Say You Do. They played on all their hits. That's right, the horns played by Tower of Power, their sax, their horn section. They were throwing down on this record, really spiced up those records by Huey Lewis and the News, including Power of Love. Now, here's one source has it that Michael Duke wrote the lyrics to the record. He put the song on a demo. He sang on the demo with the intention of pursuing a solo career. And when that fell through, Huey Lewis recorded the song. But there's another different source that's got a storyline, quite a storyline to it. First off, these two guys, they shared similar musical aspirations. They hit those inspirational highs. They were seeking it. And they wrote the song Doing It All for My Baby in one afternoon. Now, the other source has it that I got the impression that Philip Cody wrote the lyrics to the record. And Philip Cody, he was in a good place in the early 80s when this song was written. He was living with a woman who would become his wife, and he was a pretty happy guy. And he wrote, this song was written of a domestic bliss, a day in a life, which kind of revolved around his girlfriend. Now, here's the thing about Philip Cody. He was a pretty renowned songwriter. Now, you probably never heard of Philip Cody. Probably never heard of the guy. But you probably heard the songs that he's written. He teamed up with Neil Sedaka in the mid-'70s. He played probably an integral role of sorts in Neil Sedaka's big comeback. Ooh, my goodness, I remember that comeback back in the mid-'70s. Co-wrote or wrote the song Laughter in the Rain, Philip Cody in 1974 for Neil Sedaka. And that's where the music takes me. Yes, and Neil Sedaka, by Neil Sedaka, written by Philip Cody. That was in 1975. And also in 1975, Philip Cody wrote a song that's pretty obscure now by the Carpenters, although the song did go to #1 on the adult contemporary charts. He wrote the song Solitaire, done by the Carpenters. So I'm not sure if he wrote the lyrics, or if Michael Duke wrote the lyrics, or they both teamed up together and just put the lyrics together on this record. But the problem was they were signed to a publishing deal with, it was Lawrence Welk. That's right, Lawrence Welk Publishing Company. They submitted the demo, Doing It All for My Baby, to Lawrence Welk's Publishing Company, who they worked for, signed with. And the publishing company couldn't find any takers for the demo. Couldn't find an act who would cover the song. And they didn't know what to do with the demo. Michael Duke, at one point, Michael Duke, he went on the road, started playing on the road. He was touring with Delbert McClinton. They were doing club gigs in Mississippi. And one night, Michael Duke, he was playing the song on stage, Doing It All for My Baby, in a nightclub in Mississippi. Guess who was in the audience? The band members of Huey Lewis and the News. And after the show, they came up to Michael Duke and said, "Man, we love this song. We're going to take it to Huey. We're going to take this song to Huey." And indeed, they cut the record. And this song was cut by Huey Lewis and the News and put on the album about 3 years after the song was written. Huey Lewis and the News horn section, covered by the horn section with Tower of Power. And I want to give a shout out to a baritone sax player with the Tower of Power's horn band. He played on this record and did a nice horn section at the end of the record. Doc Kopka, I believe is how you pronounce his name. And he played with a kind of a flare at the end, played the sax at kind of a flare at the end of the record. And well, folks, that's it. I believe I'm done. Whew, I can't believe it. This is going to be a relatively short video. All right, well, here we go. This is a song of placid contentment. A song that should kind of lift your spirits. Nothing wrong with having this on the radio whatsoever. Another favorite song by Huey Lewis and the News, off that same album, Jacob's Ladder. Mentions Birmingham, Alabama, too, which is close to where I live. Number 14 on my fantasy playlist, August 29th, 1987. Doing It All for My Baby, Huey Lewis and the News.